Yeah, I get right to the racks. Then I make that shit back. Run up on me, get shot in the back.
It's Jerry TV, the beautiful V. Scott Show, man. Make another damn shit. Today, Pops. Today's a blessed day. Today is Monday, the 14th of the day of the recording.
2024.
The crazy story of rapper Jody Woah, rest in peace, and the rival rapper who killed him.
Swing, nigga. Video game shit. Video game vibe.
The Yankees is mad.
Shut the fuck up.
My fault. It's Jerry TV. Rest in peace, Jody Woah, man. Shout out Tommy and them boys. We're gonna react to this. I feel like there's not that many documentaries on Jody Woah. I've been wanting to do a Jody Woah documentary. We covered Lil TYS documentary. We covered the Brits documentary. We covered so many different stories from Sacramento and everywhere else in North Cali and South Cali and all that.
Yeah, we're gonna get up to speed on rest in peace, Jody Woah.
It's Jerry TV. Give them the run before opportunity.
If it's your first time tuning in, subscribe to the channel, request the content, and then we react.
Or you get BOP!
Very simple. This channel is very simple. We're super accessible. Jerry TV on Instagram. Pops Reacts.
Join the cord. Join the cord, bro.
We have a lot going on this channel. We cover a lot of history, a lot of music. Very entertaining, especially like if you're commuting from work, if your bitch ass got a job, or if you just don't want to kill some time, put it on in the background so we can make some money.
We love all y'all. Mwah! Alright, we love all y'all.
Yo, you kissed a bunch of dudes. Yo, our audience is all guys. He's kissing y'all.
I know, there's a couple girls I heard. Alright, I heard.
Yo, my son is.
That's alright too. We're talking.
Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I'm gonna detail the story of rapper Jody Woah and a rapper who killed him. Jody was born Joseph Almanza on November 22nd, 2000.
Yo, how do you find these pictures, bro? I never understood that. Like, how did they find these pictures, bro? I guess Facebook? That's crazy.
Also known as Jody Woah, who grew up in Sacramento, California. And by now, if you tapped into the streets or my videos, where I discuss numerous times a breakdown of a lot of the Sacramento street politics and the hoods all throughout Sac.
Shout out to the Work Cali, man.
You will see growing up in Sacramento, it'll be easy for many of the youth to become affiliated with numerous gangs with so much gang activity throughout the city.
Yeah.
Now, Jody will have a typical childhood of most kids in the inner city. He was an older brother to two younger siblings, a little brother, and a little sister, and played sports, even with his small stature.
Damn.
And that's how he connected with a lot of people who would become his future friends. But a lot of family members would be in the streets, and so would a lot of people he grew up with. Allegedly, Jody would have a relationship early in his childhood with several people who would go on to be affiliated with Oak Park, some being people like B.O.E. Moo. But Jody's affiliation with those guys would later be non-existent, and he would dive deep into street life. Jody would start associating himself with a North Side gang called the Del Paso Heights Bloods, known as just the Heights and several other names. Now the Oak Park Bloods and the Heights have been rivals for several years, long before Jody was ever affiliated with anything. So his former friends from Oak Park will call him a hood hopper, even though many claim he never actually claimed Oak Park.
Yeah, that always happens, right? Like, all these dudes end up turning enemies. They're friends before, from the childhood. They play sports together in the same city. Like, that's crazy.
Street politics is... The way street politics works is very simple. You come up, and usually in junior high school, elementary, junior high school, and high school, you kind of rub shoulders with many different cliques and neighborhoods, and that's where all the rivalry starts, and most of the beef starts, and the friendship starts. And then sometimes you can live, like, I don't know the whole story here, but for example, maybe he lived in Oak Park, but
He just moved.
he either moved or maybe he was cool with another hood. And sometimes you can live in a hood and have beef with the people you live in and go hang out with the rivals.
Yeah.
It's very complicated. We would never know the true story.
That is true.
I'm pretty sure the guy documenting this is trying his best to analyze it, but
The Warren Cali, shout out to you.
there's many onions, many layers to this onion.
To see him in pictures and videos, this in Oak Park. Now the Heights is one of the most known areas in Sacramento for having a lot of violence and gang activity in the community, dating all the way back to the 80s. And the gang, the Del Paso Heights Bloods, had been one of the gangs controlling the area and going to war with nearby gangs for years. With the Heights being around for many decades, they would gain many rivals, and one of their most deadliest rivalries would be with the Oak Park Bloods. Now Jody will be well connected to the Heights and its members, and he'd become popular among the community, and he even started affiliating with many allies at the Heights, being some of the Southside gangs and many individuals from that side of Sacramento, especially with some of the South Sac rappers like Kai Stacks and DB by the Bag. Jody
But DB
himself
by the
was
Bag
kind
not in the streets though, so like that's
He was associated with him. Like he just knew him.
that's crazy though, right? Like how like you kind of forced into the streets, especially like politics in Cali. Like, bro, you gotta pick a side, bro. You might as well just become a gangbanger in Cali. There's no way out.
Yeah, but I think DD by the Bag has learned how to navigate that.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying like in Cali, the politics are so strong that like even if you're just chilling with a certain group, you're part of that group. You know, it's whack.
You get pulled in.
Bro, great.
like Kai Stacks and DB by the Bag. Jody himself would start rapping, furthering his popularity in the streets of Sacramento, but being in the streets would cost Jody, and he would be shot, but he survived. Losing close friends through the street life, like John Gotti, who he often rapped about, him and several of his friends decided to take rap serious as a way to get off the streets and make it out the hood. Jody would be described by many of his homies as a person to keep them motivated and make them take rap serious. By 2018, Jody had dropped numerous of songs and videos.
Damn, I didn't know he got shot before. That's crazy. A lot of people get shot in the streets, bro, and survive. Like, that's crazy how there's a lot of artists who, not even artists, man, like people in the streets.
Gunplay is real in the streets.
Yeah, it's just
If
regular.
you in the streets, it's a great chance of getting shot or shot at.
By 2018, Jody had dropped numerous of songs and videos and collabed with many of his friends on records.
He's been dropped a lot.
By 2019, Jody started gaining a lot of traction off his music and getting recognition off his music outside of Sacramento. Some of his songs would even drop on Bay Area platform, Dizzler, which had a large platform, making his buzz even larger. He would go on a collab with several of his close friends who were also doing numbers in music, like DB by the Bag and Number 9 among others. With a lot of momentum gaining from his songs in his rap career, in a few years, Jody had a lot of eyes on him, and with the growing rap scene in Sacramento, it was starting to get easier for Sac artists to elevate and get known. And in 2020, he was what many would call a rising artist. And with him being consistent, he was expected to take off. But for Jody, it wouldn't work out this way. And unfortunately, tragedy would strike. With Jody being connected to South Sac, he associated and hung out with various different gangs and gang members from South Sac hoods. And a birthday party would be hosted for Little Raider, who is Meadowview rapper 10 Letter Gang Raider's little brother, which both later would be confirmed snitches. The party would be in South Sac, with several gang members in attendance, all from different areas. But rival gang members would get to drop to the party, and police said gunfire rung out just before 7:20 p.m. that night at the party. First responders found 3 people had been shot, one of whom was 19-year-old Jody, who later died at the hospital. 2 additional gunshot victims would drive themselves to the hospital.
Bro,
police
you can't go
say.
to a house party, bro. I feel like if you're in the streets, you shouldn't be going to house parties.
Yeah. I avoided a lot of house parties. I was in a house party once where somebody shot a shotgun on the dance floor in somebody's living room.
Wow.
When I was a kid, and then I stopped going after that. Cause they're dark, they're grimy.
No security, probably.
No, ain't no security. It's a house party, and the music is dark. You in there dancing, drinking, probably smoking. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Even a club. Like, if you're in the streets, I don't think you should go to a club either.
Yeah, but a club at least has bouncer security.
No, but if you walk at that spot, they can just wait for you outside the spot till you leave.
Or like if you're in that gangbang world. Yeah. Stay home like Scrooly G.
Died at the hospital. 2 additional gunshot victims would drive themselves to the hospital, police would say. Even though he was in the streets, Jody's death would send shockwaves through Sacramento and the rap scene, with Jody's death being so unexpected and shocking.
Loved ones stand in front of a home at the intersection of 29th and Gardendale Road in South Sacramento, holding candles and flowers.
He was my son. That was my baby they took.
Where family members say 19-year-old Joseph Almanza, known to loved ones as JoJo, was shot and killed Saturday night.
JoJo was the bride of the sun. JoJo he didn't have a mean soul in him.
Sacramento police say just after 7 p.m., they received reports of several shots fired after an altercation at a house party. There they found 3 gunshot victims, one with life-threatening injuries. Officers say 2 other victims transported themselves to the hospital. But family members say Almanza was pronounced dead at the hospital.
People put them in their cars and took them, but my baby was left.
Oh.
And then for somebody to call me and tell me like it was nothing. I can't accept.
Remember Almanza for his infectious laugh and his budding rap career.
He was ready to be big, big. People wanted to buy his music.
They're remembering a young life ripped away from loved ones and friends.
I hope that guy that did it turned himself in, because there's going to be a guilty conscience on him because he got with the wrong boy, an innocent boy.
Now, Jody would go on to be dissed by several people. And
Yo,
rappers
that's crazy, bro. 7 o'clock. It was early as hell.
Yeah.
Usually, like, a lot of bullshit happens, like, what? Like 1, 2, 3 in the a.m.? Like,
Yeah, after 1.
word.
Boy.
Now, Jody would go on to be dissed by several people, and rappers from enemy gangs in the main hood dissing him will be all part.
Jody Woah, you back alive. Kill him again.
Oh, they went to his shit? Nah, that's OD. Nah, there's a special place in hell for people like that. Like, bro, you can't be doing that, gang. Let people, like, alright, maybe in songs it's better to not, maybe it's better to, like, if you want some clout, you could diss people. I'm not agreeing with that, but I'm saying, like, going to people's funeral sites, trying to take tombstones and destroying
and we
it.
see this happen. This is not only happened to little Jody. We see this because we cover a lot of music and a lot of stuff that goes on in the world.
Yeah, and everywhere.
And people are doing this. Is today's youth? They're demonic, bro.
Yeah.
They're like little devils. They're like Satan's children, and they don't even realize.
Yeah, exactly. It's ignorance is bliss. They don't even realize what they're doing.
Like, God don't forgive you for this because you're literally stepping on God.
Children. God's children.
God's children.
Yeah, right? This is crazy. Wow, man. And then you're posting it.
Used to be my cousin. Get out.
Niggas slapped that nigga Jody on his face with his ass up.
He said Juju died, JoJo died. Them niggas died on some mob
Niggas
shit.
slapped that nigga Jody on his face with his ass up. That nigga mom was crying on the news talking about, oh, that's my son. He wasn't no gangbanger or none of that. He played sports and
That nigga was a switch up.
Bitch, that nigga dead.
You even had several rappers dissing him in songs, like Born Stunner 3G, Snubs, B.O.E. Mumu, B.O.E. Sosa, and Murder Gang Juju. Now, if you watch my Sacramento Most Disrespectful...
Wait, so to play devil's advocate for this situation, how do you feel about, let's say, Jody or anybody who passed away from gun violence, who was in the streets? Do you think if that person was dissing Deads also before he died?
Yeah, and
does it matter
I said
to you?
earlier in the video. Yeah, it does, because if you're participating in that, then people are gonna do it back to you. So we don't know the whole story. You know, maybe he did something before this to cause people to do that. Maybe people do it for the Instagram. Maybe people do it for Twitter, for follows, for likes.
Yeah.
Sometimes these guys, I'm not making excuses, but these are kids and they don't realize like the impact of what they're doing, or maybe they do. It's just really, really deep. Like, for someone to do that to you, they must have really disdain for you, bro.
Yeah. And also, like, you can compare this to the Young and Ace Julio Fulio situation. A lot of people were mad at Julio Fulio. Like, yeah, he deserved it. But I feel like Young and Ace kind of started it with the whole, like, who I smoke. And then Julio Fulio went to people's cemetery and was doing the song. But that was after he did the Who I Smoke. So it's like, can you be mad at Julio?
So it goes back. And then even the Julio Fulio Q&A's, there's Young and Ace stuff happened that we don't even know. Like,
exactly.
So that we're picking up the story from a certain point.
The internet.
Yeah, but we don't know the intricate details of it before. It's the same thing with here. Like, we know, obviously we're not condoning it because we think it's wrong, but we don't know the entire story. You know what I'm saying?
Real shit.
Part 1 and Part 2, you would see Murder Gang Juju was highly disrespectful on records to anybody he saw as an enemy to Old Park. Juju gained a reputation of what many people call a crash out. He would be arguing on live with his enemies, making diss songs, and doing anything for clout.
Just need hear me. Jody did hear me. Genius pushed Jody in his shots because he had no blaming.
Juju would diss many dead rappers in his songs, and Jody was always a name he mentioned in his lyrics. On his song Rag Victim, he would say Jody got killed, I just laughed. Crazy thing about this, a year and a half later, he would be charged with the murder of Jody Woah. Murder Gang Juju, real name Julian Brown, and another man named Anthony Smith got the drop about the party. Both men affiliated with Oak Park saw this as a time to kill several rivals and complete a drive-by. Rival gang members from the other side fired back with a total of 5 guns being fired and 45 shell casings located at the scene. Surveillance video captured a vehicle near the shooting moments before the murder and captured the same vehicle with a bullet hole in the back window shortly after the shooting. That vehicle belonged to a woman in Antioch who loaned it to Anthony Smith. Juju's DNA was found on shell casings, and other evidence placed Juju and Anthony near the shooting scene at the time of the murder. One firearm was recovered 6 weeks after the murder on an Old Park gang member. That gun was not registered and matched one of the 5 sets of shell casings at the shooting scene. Now you may think Anthony Smith, just like Juju, was another Old Park gang member putting in work, but his story is a lot different.
Yo, what? He was a basketball
Anthony
player.
Smith was a star athlete. He even went to Luther Burbank and played high school ball at Luther Burbank, which is a South Sacramento high school, just a few blocks away from 29th Street, where Jody was killed. Now Anthony had a future in sports. He played junior college ball before transferring and becoming a D1 athlete on a UNLV basketball program, but he would be kicked off the team for many infractions, one being a gun possession. So this incident killed his career, and I guess this is what turned him to the streets. You will later see him with Mozzie.
Yo, he was just in the streets. I mean, it looks like he was in the streets playing basketball.
Yeah, he said that once he got kicked off UNLV, he just put him to the streets, but nah.
No,
this dude was the streets.
He got kicked off the team for
even in an organized, structured format, Division 1, where they tell you when to eat, shit, sleep, what to do.
He's still packing the heat.
Packing heat. He was street all the way.
In Vegas, too.
Like, you're street all the way, and he'd tell you that shit. Like, I've always been street.
His career, and I guess this is what turned him to the streets. You will later see him with Mozzie and several other Old Park members, making him, I guess, a 6'5" shooter, on and off the court.
Oh shit.
Now Juju is currently in prison and serving a 90-year sentence.
Oh!
His earliest parole date is 2045.
Yo!
And as we speak, Anthony is in Sacramento County Jail, appearing to fight his case still. And for them, a rap career and a sports career was thrown away just to the streets.
Yo, I think so he probably took a play. He looks like he's gonna take it to trial, or maybe he's another case.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
All I heard was 90 years, my G. 2045 when he sits the parole board. We in 2024 as we record this. That's 20 years. I'm 67. I'll be 87 and dead.
Yo, you know what's crazy about this? Juju, he probably, let's say he didn't even do the shooting. He was probably driving, and he probably got 90 years for not even shooting nobody because it was a drive-by. Isn't that crazy how, like, you could get caught up, and if you hold it down, you could get 90 years for a shooting you didn't even do. Even though you were a part of it still, like, you didn't even pull the trigger, and you could still get, like...
Shit is a disaster.
Yo, the streets is... Yo, if you're in the streets right now, just get out, bro. Get out. Please get a job.
It's a lose-lose proposition, bro. This dude could have probably played basketball overseas. This dude probably could have been a head manager at a UPS or something. He could just live a regular life.
Or just rapping, yeah.
And now he just, like, crashed out.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
Jody was only 19 at the time of his death, and his rap career was cut short. R.I.P. to him.
Damn, man. It's Jerry TV. Rest in peace, Lil Jody. Let's see me.
This will conclude this episode.
Shout out Warren County. Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our channel. We are out of here, man. Peace.
And I know how it gets, so I gotta stay low, now move my knot. I don't trust no nigga, I don't trust no man, ain't no friends, everybody get shot. You never know how nigga gon' throw, I'm hitting the flow with a couple of shots. You better move, you better duck, either way to go, you'll get